Ever heard whispers of lost treasure? Not pirates and sunken ships, but something closer to home, hidden deep within the heart of America. Far from the rivers, deep within the Appalachian Mountains, another legend lives, a gold cache buried to protect it from the war. Tonight, we're not just telling a story, we're peeling back the layers of history, folklore, and mystery to uncover the truth behind the lost Confederate gold of the Appalachians. Imagine this. It's the 1860s. The Civil War is raging, tearing the country apart. The Confederacy, desperate for resources, is moving vast sums of gold and silver to fund its efforts. But war is unpredictable. Union raids are a constant threat, and supply lines are anything but secure. What do you do with a treasure too heavy to move quickly and too valuable to lose? You bury Italiano. Historians found letters describing these emergency burials. When Confederate officers feared imminent raids, they would give the order to bury entire shipments. We're talking about chests filled with gold coins, silver bars, and payrolls, intended for soldiers who might never see it. They would find a discreet location, a unique rock formation, a particularly old tree, a sharp bend in a creek, and bury the wealth, marking it with a secret code or a hand-drawn map, intending to come back when the danger had passed. For many, that day never came. The chaos of war meant soldiers were reassigned, captured, or worse. Maps where their lost memories faded, and the land itself changed. Rivers shifted their courses, trees fell, and forests reclaimed the earth. Some of those burial sites were found decades later, often by pure accidenta. Farmer plowing a field, a new road being cut through a hillside. But others remain untouched, hidden under roots and rock, waiting. One of the most enduring legends comes from the rugged hills of Virginia. The story revolves around a Confederate paymaster named Colonel John S. Mosby, the Gray Ghost. Mosby and his Rangers were legendary for their lightning-fast raids on Union supply lines. They were incredibly effective, and legend says they amassed a fortune. As the war drew to a close and the Confederacy began to crumble, Mosby was supposedly tasked with safeguarding a significant portion of its treasury, millions of dollars worth of gold and silver. The story goes that Mosby, pursued by Union cavalry, took his men and the treasure deep into the woods of Fairfax County, somewhere between two large pine trees. Near a specific rock outcrop, they buried the chests. The plan was to retrieve it later, but soon after, the war ended. Mosby was granted amnesty and, for reasons lost to history, he never returned for the gold. Did he forget the location? Did he feel it was no longer his to claim? Or is the story just that, a story? For over 150 years, treasure hunters have scoured those woods. They've come with metal detectors, ground-penetrating radar, and copies of faded, hand-drawn maps of dubious origin. They've dug countless holes, turning over soil that hasn't been disturbed for centuries. Yet, the bulk of Mosby's legendary treasure has never been officially found. It's a tantalizing mystery. The clues are just specific enough to feel real, but just vague enough to keep the prize forever out of reach. But it's not just about one legendary Kerner. These stories are woven into the very fabric of Appalachian family history. My grandfather used to say, if you dig where the sun meets the ridge at dawn on the solstice, you'll find the gold that bought freedom. Tales like this have been passed down through generations, whispered around campfires and shared on front porches. They speak of ancestors who were soldiers, who were given the secret duty of hiding something precious. One account, found in a forgotten family Bible, tells of a small group of soldiers in North Carolina. They were tasked with transporting a chest of gold bullion meant for the war effort in Tennessee. Along the trail, they were ambushed. The few survivors knew they couldn't continue. They buried the chest near a waterfall, carving a cryptic symbol crossed inside a circle onto a nearby beech tree. The soldiers were captured shortly after, and the secret of the waterfall gold was lost with them. People still search for that waterfall and for a beech tree with an ancient, fading scar. These aren't just get-rich-quick schemes. For many families in the region, these legends are a direct link to their heritage, a tangible piece of a past that feels both epic and deeply personal. The gold represents more than just wealth. It represents sacrifice, loyalty, and a chapter of American history that continues to echo through these mountains. It's the story of a promise that was never fulfilled, a mission that was never completed. Let's think about the practicalities. How would you even go about hiding a treasure chest in the 1860s? You're in dense, unfamiliar wilderness. You have basic tools, shovels, maybe an axe. You need a landmark that will survive for decades, even centuries. A large, distinctive boulder. A Cavintransi, the base of a cliff. These are the questions that keep modern-day treasure hunters awake at night. They study old geological surveys, compare them with modern maps, and try to think like a soldier from another time. They're looking for anomalies, for places that feel out of place. A single, towering pine in a forest of oaks, a pile of rocks that looks a little too symmetrical. It's a form of historical detective work, combining folklore with geography and a healthy dose of intuition. And sometimes, they find things, not a chest of gold, perhaps, but a rusty canteen, a corroded belt buckle, a single, dropped coin. Each artifact is a breadcrumb, a tiny confirmation that people were here, that something happened in this exact spot. It's what keeps the hope alive. The allure of this lost gold is powerful. It's a story of what if you were the one to stumble upon it? What would you do? The fantasy is intoxicating, but the reality is a painstaking, often fruitless search. It requires immense patience and a deep respect for the land and its history. These mountains don't give up their secrets. Isalier, the terrain is unforgiving. The forests are dense, and 150 years is a long time for nature to cover its tracks. Yet, the search continues. From Virginia's rolling hills to the deep hollows of Tennessee and the rugged peaks of Georgia, the legend persists. It has become a part of the Appalachian identity, a modern myth rooted in historical fact. It's a reminder that there are still mysteries left in the world, secrets buried just beneath our feet, waiting for the right person to come along at the right time. The gold isn't just a treasure, it's a story, and as long as the story is told, the hunt will never truly be over. So next time you find yourself driving through those misty Appalachian peaks, look a little closer at the landscape. Think about the history held within those hills and forests. The story of the lost Confederate gold is a testament to the enduring power of legend, and a reminder that sometimes the greatest treasures are the stories we pass down. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the past. If you enjoyed this exploration of history and mystery, please give this video a like and consider subscribing to the channel for more stories from the forgotten corners of our world. We'd love to have you in our community. Until next time, keep exploring.